everybody, welcome back to my channel, Made with Love. My name is Heather, and today I'm going to make my little girl and boy leprechaun gnomes. Now to start these, I'm using very easy, simple, basic things. So for her, I'm just using a maraschino cherry jar, and then for him, this is just a little marmalade jar. So they're very small jars. His will be just a little bit bigger. I don't have the lids anymore because I'd used all my lids for these for making those macaroons for the Christmas tree decorations. For her hat, I'm going to use this cute little fashionista hair clip. It was actually one I wore last year for St. Pat's. So these are still, I think you can still get these at the dollar store this year. I'm not sure. And then for him, I'm going to use these little pack of these little mini hats. These are from Dollar Tree, and you get a pack of 5. So they're just very small. Like, so this is what I decided. It's so small that, you know, the leprechaun is practically done. And then I did find the little, from Dollar Tree, I found the little leprechaun beard and mustache. Now, I was going to actually spot this because I was actually going to make a very large one out of a, like a hot chocolate container, but I don't have one left. I think I did have one. I'm not sure where it went. I think somebody threw it in, one of my kids threw it in the recycling box. So, but I've got this, and it's just going to be too big for this. So I'm going to actually figure out how I can cut this down into 2 pieces so I can use the mustache and beard for him, and then some of this part here for her hair. And then I just have some white felt, and then I got 3 different shades, I think, yeah, 3 different shades of the green felt. So I got some of this size. Now these ones are cut this size. I'm not sure what size these are. Like a 6 by 6, I believe, or close to that. Yeah, it looks like it's about 6 by 6. I buy these at a stack of them from Dollarama. I think they're about $3, and you just get a whole bunch of a few of each different color. Like there's the green, white, yellow, orange, red, blue. So I have a bunch of these. So I'm using the green ones, and then I have these other ones here, which I had bought from Dollar Tree, and they usually have them like 2 for $1.20. Excuse me, 2 for $1.25. So these are just, I don't know, the multi-craft ones. So I got this one here, and this one actually says it's called Emerald Green, and this one's a little bit stiffer, and it has some of the glitter in it. And then they just have some of these other ones. I don't think, oh yes, these ones. Craftology is the brand for these ones. Again, they're just from the dollar store, you know, 2 for $1.25. So I've got some of the darker green. So the first thing I'm going to do is just get a nice piece of cardboard, and I'm going to glue a piece of cardboard up on the top. I'm not giving them feet today. That would be fun, but I figure they're glass jars. They sit pretty solid. I'm not at this size. I've tried making feet on little glass jars, and they do, after a little while, they do start to tip. So I'm not going to give my little gnomes feet this time. I'm just going to move my camera down. I'm just going to grab my cardboard because I think it fell that way. Let's see. I had some cardboard. Yes, it did. I had some cardboard. I'm just, this would be, is this big enough? Yes, I just have a empty sandwich box container. This was from when I was cleaning my kitchen last week. Oops, what am I doing? I don't have to. I'm just going to trace. I had pencil here. I redid my craft room. I moved things over, so now it's on the other side of me. I'm gonna trace this. I'm gonna trace this one as well. this out a little bit bigger than that because then I got to put glue. And then I will trim off any excess after I've got it glued down. And if you wanted, you can add rocks or sand to the jar so it will not tip. But I think because of the materials I'm using, I don't think that's going to be necessary to do that. Let's see if I can fix this, make this look a little more round, less oval. There you go. I don't think it matters because you're not going to see this because I'm going to be covering the jar with felt anyways. I think I should have glued it the other way. Hold this down for a few seconds. And just trim this excess off. Okay, so now I'm going to decide who's going to get the dark green, who's going to get the light green. I think I'm going to give him the dark green. Remove this because I do not want to get glue where I don't want it to be glued. Right for the edge of this jar, so I'm just going to trim if I can. For some reason, my scissors don't want to cut. Got a larger pair of scissors here, so this one should probably work. Supposed to. his body covered. I'll just get a little more glue in a few of these spaces here. Oh, here it is. So I will need another small strip across here. Just to kind of hide some of this. I'm just going to glue this over top and then I will trim it when it's dry. So I'm going to do the same to this jar. I'm going to cover it with the green, and when I've got them both ready for the next thing, I'll be right back. Alright, so I got the two bodies covered. And for this one here, I want to take the clips off, and it's so glued on really well that I had just cut them out. So now I've got these little white strips on the underside of her hat. So I'm just going to take a piece of felt. I'm just going to trace the felt and just remake the bottom part of the hat. I'm just going through so many glue sticks doing this today for some reason. Just put that on. And I'll just give that a moment to set up, and then I will just trim off the extra. And then put her hat on. And for his hat, it's like, if you can find ways to make gnomes and using products that like find ways to use products from the dollar store so you don't have to make things, really helps. Now, these hats have two little staples holding this elastic in place. So I'm just going to pull that off. And there is his hat. It's going to fit on him pretty good. There. Oops. No, it just wants to pop off because that's okay. It would be better when I glue it on. And you know, the same thing what I did with hers, I think I'm going to do with him. I think I'm going to glue a piece of felt on here as well. I think I'm just going to save this hat a few minutes to set up and cut that one out as well. It just gives me a nicer base to glue flat onto the flat tops I put on here. So I'm going to trim hers. Just don't want to cut the top of the hat. Just want to trim some of this extra stuff from down here. Just make it look a lot nicer. There, just looks a lot nicer and be easier to attach. And same with him. Just gonna trim his head off. Just do kind of a rough cut, and then I'm just going to even anywhere where it's just a little too long in a few places, or just kind of cut to like a jagged point. There. That looks so much better too, so it's going to be easier to put their hats on. Okay, so now I've got to do the beards. I guess it'd be his beard and her ponytail. Start with him. I do like this idea. It's got this mustache attached, and it's perfect, and it's going to go from there to there, so I can still keep a lot of this. I gotta get rid of this string here first. I'm going to keep this elastic cord, because elastic cord is one of those things that sometimes I need and it's hard to find when you need. So now I'm just going to grab my other little X-Acto knife to cut this. X-Acto knife. Moved over one. Okay. I'm just going to use this pencil. So kind of trace where I need to cut. I'm just gonna see, when I cut from the back, I get this material off, but I get a lot of the nice beard still hanging down. And it took me a while of cutting this type of fabric or whatever you want to call it, ribbon, before I learned that technique. I was trying to figure out why anytime I cut it, the beard would always be so choppy, even if I went from the back. And I realized you just go from the back, you just go slow, and you just want to get this meshy type stuff. It's almost like a burlap kind of. It's like working with burlaps. You just want to cut slowly between the fibers. So I'm going to use this seam for the front just to help hide it. Right there. And this beard is still quite long. Just fine because I just trying to figure out how this is going to wrap with this mustache. There. Put some glue. There, like I said, like very easy to do gnomes if you just find some, like other products that are already made. There's less work to do. There. And then his hat. Sit right on top. The one thing I don't like with working with this type of furry stuff is it always gets caught in my glue guns. Glue his hat on. And there we go. He is done. I'm not worried because I gotta still have to stick his nose on. I think I got his hat just a little crooked. That's okay. I think it'll be okay once I get his nose glued on. I can straighten out the hat. So I just do it now. I can't fix it now. Maybe I could just pull the beard over there. Fix the beard, center hat. There. There, he's done. And now I need her. Now I don't know if this is going to be enough hair for her. No, I don't think this is going to work for hair for her. It was worth a try though. Well, some female gnomes have beards too, so I'm going to just glue this on her anyways, just to help cover up some of this stuff here. And I'm going to go and grab my yarn and I'm going to make her some hair. I might as well just glue this on here because, like I said, it will just kind of help hide some of this stuff. The top of the jar where I'm just kind of that. And her hat will go on. So I'm just going to go and grab some yarn and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got two types of yarn. I got this green yarn and it's all, oops, I'm just going to move her out of the way. And it looks like this, so it's really fluffy to work with. And then I just have some regular green yarn for her. I want to be able to see it. I'm trying to decide which I like better. I think I'm going to go with the darker green. This is just too much of like that yellowish tinge for me. I'd like her to kind of, I gotta decide how long I need her hair to be. So I need the strands each to be about this long. So to make this, I'm just going to grab my, actually, do I have this? That would work too. Okay, I'm just going to grab my glass cutting board here. And I'm just going to hold this. And I'm just going to wrap the yarn around here. I don't know how many times. Just a bunch of times. As if I'm making like a tassel, but I'm going to make her strands of hair. This is going to take a few minutes. So I'm just going to keep wrapping this about 30 more times. So I'll be right back. Okay, I've gone around quite a few times. I stood up and I let the yarn roll on the floor. It's just so much faster. I'm just going to tie together my first end and my last end. Like that. I'm going to snip that off. And then I am going to use this as take it off here now. I'm going to use some of this as her hair elastic, I guess, ribbon for her hair. And of course I can't get this to come off. Once you get the first couple to start to come off, it will start to come off a lot easier. Usually does. Oh. There, the one side off, so the next side just, now the other side just slides right off. Now I've got it in my hand like this. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to lay this down. I don't know what happened there. Okay. I'm just going to take a chunk of this. Just tie it up here. And this will be the top of her head. So it's kind of like making a tassel, but I'm making her hair. That. And then I'm just gonna, like this, I'm just gonna, oops. Try to get it to cut in half. So I've got her hair here. There's a few pieces that were a little long. I don't know what happened, something. So I'm just going to find those pieces that are just a little bit too long. I'm just going to trim them. Just trying to make it nice. I always have trouble cutting yarn. Anytime I make pom-poms, my yarn never cuts the way I see everybody else is able to do it. I don't know why. A lot better. So now I'll bring her back. I'll glue her hair down. Just gotta get all this stuff out of my way. I'm going to glue some of the hair straight down the back. I didn't want a big strand of hot glue going right down her. Bring some of these pieces more forward as well, like that. There. And then I've got her hat. I'll glue her hat on. Right there. Now I can make their noses. And I just realized I don't have the cotton balls in front of me. So I'm just going to hold this till this dries, and then I'll be back to make their noses. Alright, to make their nose, you can either glue beads, but lately I've been doing this, and I find this works so much faster, and it looks so much cuter. So it's just a couple cotton balls, and then a chunk of pantyhose. Now, I don't have any pantyhose like the full size ones right now. I've used them all up. But I have the little foot one, so I've got a light one and I've got a darker one. So I'm going to make his a little bit darker, and I'm going to make hers the light one. So the first thing I do is I take the cotton balls and I unroll them. See, I just like to unroll the cotton balls. Now, they don't need to be big, but I always find if you unroll them and then you layer them, and the cotton does something, it just kind of sticks to itself. And then I'm just going to re-roll it up. I think that's a good size for his nose. And then I'm just going to use my hands. I'm just going to, like you're making cookies or Play-Doh, you just want to roll it into a ball. Now I said sometimes it doesn't really want to go into a ball, so I will roll it out into that shape and then try to get it to roll into the ball. You kind of get like a ball shape. I mean, it's going to fall apart. And I'm just going to grab a chunk of the pantyhose. And once you get the pantyhose and it's in the pantyhose, it will start to really form the shape. I'm just going to cut. Oops. I don't think my scissors are working very good right now. thing about pantyhose is you can just stretch it and then you get a really good nose. And then I forgot to, you're supposed to tie it off before you cut. I kind of forgot that. Sometimes I make these and I just forget what you're doing. Well, that's okay. A little bit of hot glue to help hold it closed. And then it's going to be glued on him anyways. I'm just going to lift up his hat. Oops, what am I doing? It's got too much glue. It's not all over me. I'm going to grab one of these little clips just because I got to get under here and pinch this upward. And I squished his hat. I'm burning my fingers, so I just needed something to stuff up. Just need something to get this to go under where I need it to go under the hat. There. Look at that. He's got his nose. So he's done. And now with her, same thing. Just gotta get rid of some of this glue on my fingers or I won't be able to do anything. Same thing, I got this. Well, I think that's going to be too big for her nose. I want her nose a little smaller. There, that's a little bit better. Tie it off before you cut. Unless, of course, you cut right on top of the knot, and it kind of just so unless you just kind of cut through part of the knot, try not to do that either. There, just kind of glue the knot down in place in the back of her nose. See, and then it's so much flatter and it looks so much better. And then you just put the glue on top of the knot at the back. And just glue her nose on. And there we go. Now I've got a little girl gnome and my little boy gnome. Now her hat is very fancy. His hat actually needs something. So I'm going to actually just see what I have here. I had some shamrock things I threw down here. Here we go. This little bag of stuff. It's 4-leaf clover confetti. This was from Dollarama. It was $2.50. So it's got the shamrocks and gold coins. I think his hat needs a little shamrock because her hat actually has a shamrock. I do have some better ones. I know I've got some bigger ones. I'd have to run back down to the basement to get them. So I'm just going to glue. One of these just on the top of his hat right there. And I'm just going to glue one of these coins onto his hat too. A coin right beside, right there, like that. So now he's got some stuff on his hat too. So there they are. I'm gonna put them on my fireplace mantle and show you what they look like. Just look how cute the little gnomes look just sitting up on my fireplace mantle. Again, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's subscribing to my channels and watching my videos. And I really hope you enjoyed watching me make my two leprechaun gnomes. I will see you in my next videos. Bye.